Buongiorno a tutte e a tutti and welcome to Pordenone Docs Fest. I'm Elena Dinka. I work here in Cinema Zero Media Library, and it's a great pleasure for me to open this session. I manage with archives and also with the cultural and educational project, and so I'm very happy to open this session. For more than 20 years, Cinema Zero and also the festival have been dedicated to teaching audiovisual language to schools and general public. Our goal is to help new generation to understand film language and documentary cinema in particular. And so we think that knowing how films are made and how movies can communicate a message is the key tool to understand the reality and to transform the viewer from a passive consumer into a conscious citizen. This session is organized in collaboration with AVI, Associazione Videoteche e Mediateche Italiane, the Media Library Italian Association, and is also part of the National Plan Cinema Immagini per la Scuola, supported by the Ministry of Culture, Education and Merit. And in this school year, as part of this national plan, Cinema Zero has organized an educational project for schools titled In Scena la Realtà. And I'm happy to have here Paolo D'Andrea, my colleague and project lead, and I want to ask him to tell us something about this project.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome. It's a real pleasure to be here with such a diverse and committed group of educators, filmmakers, festival programmers, and policy makers. I think that the fact that we're all in the same room already says something important, that the question of how we teach young people to read, to understand, to create moving images is no longer an concern. It's urgent and it's political. Elena asked me to speak about the educational project we launched last year and which is still ongoing. Well, let me start with something concrete. I think the best arguments always begin with what's actually happening on the ground. In the northeast of Italy, right now, in schools across Friuli, Venezia Giulia and the Veneto region, over 2,000 students, ranging from elementary to high schools, are making documentary films. Not only watching them, they're making them. It means they're picking a subject, arguing about the perspective, learning how to point a camera and decide when to cut, what to leave in and what to cut out. By May, they'll have produced over 100 original short documentaries on topics they chose themselves. Bullying, the environment, historical memory, the world of work, etc. The choice of documentary, what we call cinema del reale, cinema of the real, is not accidental. Documentary, by its very nature, it forces you to verify, to observe carefully. It demands that you ask questions, and it forces you to make ethical choices about how you represent another person's reality. As we put it, there is no better way to do civic education in a classroom. This is the project In Scena la Realtà, Reality on Stage, led by Cinema Zero in partnership with the University of Udine, CG Entertainment, which is one of the leading national distributors, of course the Pordenone Docs Fest, and several civil society organizations. And it exists because of a remarkable institutional commitment, the Piano Nazionale Cinema Immagini per la Scuola, the National Plan for Cinema and Images in School, jointly promoted by the Ministry of Culture, by the Italian Ministry of Culture, and the Ministry of Education and Merit. I want to pause on that for a moment. I highlight this not to praise a specific program, but to examine its architecture. In a climate of tightening cultural budgets, this represents a deliberate choice to treat audiovisual education as a public good rather than a temporary experiment. It demonstrates what happens when you combine interministerial cooperation, that is bridging the gap between culture and formal education, structural funding, that is moving away from short-term pilot projects, and grassroots expertise that is integrating cinemas, festivals, and university directly into the classroom. Despite such bright spots, audiovisual education across Europe remains largely fragmented. It often relies on the enthusiasm of individual teachers or boutique funding that vanishes after 2 years. While some nations have made strides, the sector remains vulnerable to political cycles and financial pressure. We have not yet built a stable transnational architecture. Media literacy is not an extra, it is a core competency for 21st century citizenship. Since the images our students consume do not stop at national borders, our educational frameworks shouldn't either. So this panel has a specific ambition. We want to ask, what would it take to move from good projects to systemic change? What can we learn from the Italian experience, its strengths, the architecture, the courage of the institutional choices that made it possible, and how do we build on that on a European level? How do we construct the transnational networks between festivals, archives, universities, and school systems that could make this work sustainable and truly shared? These are hard questions, we know that, and I don't think we will resolve them this afternoon. But I do think that the people in this room have the experience, the perspective, and honestly the impatience to push the conversation forward. Returning to Inscena la Realtà project, the students will be presenting their films in Pordenone in May. Their work will be shown not just to their teachers, but to the whole city. A project not just for schools, but with schools and with the community. That feels like a good model for what we're trying to do here too. Not talking about education in isolation, but building something with the institution and the governments that have the power, and as Italy has shown, sometimes the will, to make it real. Thank you, and let's get started.
Now I will hand over to our moderator, the film historian, archivist, and cultural manager, Luca Giuliani. Thank you, Luca.
Thank you to Cinema Zero. Thank you to everybody. Welcome. It's a pleasure to be here, as usual, when I come back to Cinema Zero. I presume I have been invited to chair this panel today because long back ago in 2003 I gave my contribution in founding the Mediatek here in Pordenone Cinema Zero. The same now that has been led by Paolo and Elena in a very good way. I also want to thank Massimo that will be with us, crucial for the organization of this panel. I will introduce in a moment our guest speakers and just to tell you how we'll proceed today. First of all, we start from the title, a very complex title, Shaping the Gaze, Educating Documentary Between Schools and Cultural Policies from National to European Networks, Best Practices for Bringing Documentary Film into Schools, and International Exchange of Models, Partnership and Strategies for Cultivating New Ways of Seeing. Many years ago, more than 20 years ago, when the national plan started, well, the title was much shorter. Let's school, something like that. So you already understand from the complexity of the title that a lot of steps have been achieved over the last 20 years. And now we are talking about Europe, networking, documentary, all issues, all topics that were not given 20 years ago, for instance. There is also, this is the reason why we invited the representative of other networks in Europe just to change best practices and to face with their models in the perspective of in some time to achieve something really European. There is also another reason for this panel today. Nowadays, in the Italian Parliament is under discussion a new law on cinema. The aim is to renew, to complete the old law that, if I'm not mistaken, was 2016, I believe. And there are, as I said before, as I illustrated the title, there are new challenges for those who are involved in media literacy today. That's the reason why, in a moment, we will give the mic to Bruno Zambardino, the General Director for Film and the Visual sector at the Ministry of Culture. And then we will keep going with Mona Klockner, responsible for the project Nextus, learning by documentaries, and also of the team Doc Education and Doc Fest in München, Germany. And right after, we will have Verle Snijders, coordinator of the National Film Education Network for the AI, the Film Museum in Amsterdam, Netherlands. And at the end, Gudrun Sommer, member of the board of the European Children's Film Association, ECFA, and director of the film festival Docs in Ruhr, still in Germany. Today we'd like to let our guest speakers to introduce with their presentation, their PowerPoints, their experience, their models, and the idea is to leave a good part of time at the end to have a general collective discussion where you, the audience, are invited to address the guest speakers with your questions and your experiences. I believe this is all, and I would like to leave the scene to Bruno Zambardino, that is online with us from, I'm not sure, probably from Rome. Hello, yes. Bruno.
Hello, everyone. You can hear me?
Yes, clearly, yes. Thank you, and welcome.
Thank you so much for this opportunity to discuss with you on a very strategic issue, film education. I believe, as mentioned before, is the most strategic public policy for the future of our sector. I'm very sorry I can't be there in person, also because I have a wonderful memory of Pordenone, because in Pordenone, for over 20 years ago, I taught a course in cinema at the University of Udine, the Touched Center, il centro polifunzionale di Pordenone. So I have a good memory of that beautiful city. So I prepared some slide about our national plan. I don't know if you can see this presentation now. Perfect. It's a very ambitious national plan. As mentioned before, this plan is promoted by our Minister of Culture. In particular, I'm in charge of the Director General of Cinema and Audiovisual. And of course, this national plan is set in partnership with the Ministry of Education. The legal basis is our national law. And the very important thing is the funding is a stable funding by our cinema fund, more or less 20 million per year. The ambitious in the longer term is to incorporating audiovisual language in curricular school of all levels. but in particular also for our colleagues that comes from abroad. The main objectives are these: promoting audiovisual media as an educational tool, of course, but also promoting the study of film history, audiovisual language, but also skills about the technical, artistic, or economic field in audiovisual sector. I think in these objectives are also some issues about not only film education, but also media literacy, as combating contrasting visual illiteracy and communication distraction is a very big issue for our society, encouraging a critical understanding of the present, and also try to develop a visual culture in order to engage young generation with the ongoing digital revolution. In practice, as your association knows very well, the architecture of our plan is based on 3 lines. The first line, the second line, A and B, are funding calls. The first aimed directly to schools, and the second aimed to organization specialized in film education. Of course, the beneficiaries are always students and teachers. But in this national plan, we have also very important cross-sectoral actions, like National School Film Days in Palermo, in south of Italy, in partnership with il Centro Sperimentale di Cinematografia, is a department specialized in documentary. We have a website dedicated to our plan. We provide also action on monitoring in order to improve our action year by year. And we have also some institutional project, special project like the very famous Leoncino d'Oro or David Giovani. In particular, I would like to spend some words about our traditional event, National School Film Days in Palermo. The next will be the 4th edition, and it's a very important annual event because in particular is dedicated to the training of school staff, teachers, not students, and in order to promote, of course, audiovisual media as a teaching tool. In this case, in these 3 days, we organize seminars, masterclass, workshops, screenings. One of these workshops in the last edition was we hosted also Nexus, so it was a pleasure also to follow the next presentation about Nexus. Very, very important platform with a selection of international documentaries supported by teaching resources. And I think this kind of workshop is a perfect example of how documentaries can be incorporated to support everyday teaching in the classroom. I think in particular, as you said before, il cinema del reale, the cinema of reality, I think is the best way to engage young generation not only in order to watch, but also in order to make films about the reality, the territory, the social situation near in proximity of their schools. We are very, very proud about the figures. We invested in the first 4 editions of the National Plan over 1 million euros. around 2,000 educational projects supported, 500 organizations operating in the film education field, like festival, cinemas, archives, association, no-profit association. So a very big effort in all our regions. And at this moment, over 1.7 million students were involved, and 115,000 teachers involved in our projects. And in particular, if I can have some minutes, I would like also to show an interesting spin-off born from our territorial projects. Also to show, which is very important for us, the impact of our public investment. In this case, in 2023, we financed a very short project named MEF School Lab, set up in Puglia, south of Italy, within the Messapican Film Festival, very short festival. And this initiative sparked such an interest in very young students. After the end of this project, these young students decided, with the help of the city, to open a first cinema in Italy completely managed by young students. The name is Piccolo Cinema Ken Loach, dedicated to the famous English director who made the social themes the core of his movies. And the director himself gave his approval and support to this incredible initiative. It has become a national event. The students were invited also guests on a major national TV program. So in this moment, this very small cinema currently is active. The students are managing this small cinema in Mesagne. This is the name of a very small city in Apulia. And in our opinion, represent a crucial example of social inclusion and engagement. So reaching all the territories, especially in the internal areas. Another very important issues for us is to give priority to projects involving cinemas, like Cinema Zero. And the results currently are very positive, because out of 10 projects involve screenings in cinema at various levels. So for us, it's very important also to have on board the cinemas in order to give the possibility to the young generation to see in a big screen our film. And finally, because it's the specific issue of this meeting, we believe that documentary can play a strategic role. Over the course of 5 editions and with more than 2,000 projects funded, many of these have placed the documentary at the heart of their activities. Often the students involved have taken on the challenge of creating, of course with the help of professionals, on audiovisual project in a form of documentary, telling the story not only of the local area, but also of significant historical and social events near their class in their territory. So using sometimes also footage by archives. This is another important partnership in our project. So it's very important the real social cultural context in which they are immersed. And very rapidly, I want to share with you a couple of examples of this project. This is a national project promoted by Zalab in Padova. The name is Nuovo Cinema Coraggioso. This project offers workshop on the audiovisual language specifically for documentary cinema, focusing on important themes like conflict, diversity, migration, reconciliation, and the strong aim, the very important aim is to create the links and networking with the local area and schools across various regions of Italy. Another project is promoted by the National Association of Documentary, DOCIT. The name of this project is Tell the Reality. As part of its project, has launched the Italian Doc Educational Platform. So they, with our public funding, they create an educational platform for the study of documentary scene in schools. And it's a very original approach, a mixed approach in order to enhance knowledge of contemporary outdoor documentary film, cinema screenings, skills in the use of documentary languages, and for us it's very important practical approach with workshop. Another example is Cinevasioni. This is promoted by another association in order to support documentary and filmmaking course in Emilia-Romagna, in Bologna. This project not only involves schools, but also conventional settings that are rarely reached by traditional programming, such as hospitals and prisons. And in this case, we decide to finance this project in particular for this specific aim for social and inclusion in a particular situation. Of course, Cinema Zero, you described before this project. It's very focused on documentary film and the development of the younger generation. So for us, it's an important project. Associazione Spin-Off, they organize a festival, Student Talks Festival, for primary schools and also for teachers. And it's very original and a value added also for the international documentaries. So for us, it's very important also to have a European vision. And the last but not least, Professione Documentario, Piemonte Movie. This project presents a selection of the best contemporary regional documentary films in secondary schools in this very important for the cinematographic and the visual field region like Piemonte. In conclusion, I want to mention our portal cinemaperlascuola.istruzione.it. Unfortunately, at the moment, it's only in Italian, but we are working in order to translate some of the important section of this hub, because it's possible day by day to discover all the educational projects we have supported in these 5 years, and to stay updated with the world of film literacy. I think of course at your disposal for an exchange of views, and I wish to thanks a lot for this very important occasion, and I give you the floor. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Bruno. Many aspects very interesting in your speech. One above the others, this economical model for which the economical resources go directly to schools and associations. I'm wondering if in the rest of Europe is there anything like this? And also I'm very much caught by the idea of the importance of the film theater as the main site of the activities also with schools. Thank you very much again, and I ask you for a little effort more, because we have another connection from remote online. We have the second guest speaker is Mona Klockner, as I said to you before, from Nextus Learning by Documentaries, I believe connected from München. Hello, Mona.
Hello.
Hello. How are you?
Nice to be here to participate online. Can you see me now?
Yeah. We can hear you very well.
Very good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you have the chance to listen to the previous speech?
Yes, I did. Yeah.
Very well. Okay.
And it's nice that Mr. Zambadino also mentioned Nextus, which I will present to you now in a short presentation.
Exactly. So if you would like to share with us your PowerPoint, we are all ears.
So I hope you can see everything now.
Sorry, say it again.
I hope you can see my presentation now on the screen.
Not yet.
Okay, I'm actually sharing it.
Okay, don't panic. We can make it. We still have time.
Yeah, good things take time. We will make it. Okay, I will. Yeah. Okay, wait, I will stop it again and restart it. Maybe there was something that didn't work. Oh, now you see it, right? Okay.
Yes, we go. We are full screen, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, go full screen.
So, yeah, it's nice to be here and be part of this panel, which is on a very important topic, how we can foster media education with documentary films. And I am from DocFest Munich, the International Documentary Film Festival in Munich, and head of Doc Education. We are the educational part, the educational department of the festival. So I will present to you a little bit what we are doing at Doc Education, our own program, and then what we are doing in the inter-European network of the film platform Nextus. So you get an idea of how our work looks like to bring media education with documentary forward. So what you see here is an overview from our website of our program, what we're doing. So we have program during the festival, which takes place in May. And we have year-round educational programs for teachers and students. So
Mona, excuse me.
Yes.
Is it possible for you to go full screen? Otherwise,
sorry, I didn't understand.
Yeah, your presentation full screen. We see the part of...
you see the presentation mode? Yes, I can give you the other...
Oh, okay, here we go. Thank you. Much better.
Okay. So let's get back to that. So what we're doing is we're having different programs to implement documentary film education in schools and with teachers in teacher trainings. So the teachers can become multipliers of the programs we are doing with schools and students during the festival. So the heart of our work at Dog Education is the Schule des Sehens. It means School for the Art of Seeing. It's what we are presenting from May to July online and during the festival in May. So I'll explain to you what we're doing at Schule des Sehens. It's a modular system of a short film, meeting the filmmaker, and additional activities that help the children to analyze a documentary film. Actually, what we call it is we learn how to read a documentary film. So we are comparing short documentary films to pieces of literature and try to make the students as well as the teachers understand that you can really read a documentary that is written. The author is the filmmaker, and you can really compare it to a piece of literature. So one of the big questions we always handle is the question of reality and truth in documentary films, because many people perceive documentary films, if you just say the word, if you just talk about it, as depicting reality, the way reality is, which is not true, because it's always a subjective view on reality. It's always made, and it has a lot of decisions that stand behind it. So when I make a film as a filmmaker, I'm in charge of deciding who is in front of the camera, how am I telling the story, what am I showing, what am I not showing. So we try to make this graspable, that every audiovisual product, also documentary films, are being made for a purpose and are telling us a story. So documentaries tell a story with reality. And how do documentaries inspire young audiences? Why do we love to use documentaries to inspire young people? Actually, there are many exciting artistically narrated nonfiction films. So we also often compare, when we go to school classes or we give teacher trainings, we compare documentary films to reportage, to reports, to classical TV formats. And we try to make them understand that a documentary film, in the way it is artistically narrated, is much more interesting also for students to understand more about audiovisual media making than only with reports about certain topics. So they can be more interesting for young audiences because they are made in this specific way. And they tell stories from young people's point of view. The special thing about documentaries for us is that it's not someone, an adult, telling a story about young people, but it's young people talking for themselves without an auctorial narrator who tells you everything and tells you how to read and how to understand the story. They talk for themselves, and this is the special skill of a documentary filmmaker, to give them the space to talk for themselves and to tell their own stories. And those stories can especially concern and empower young audiences because they talk on an eye level with them. So what we do at Schule des Sehens is each year we choose 3 short documentaries for 3 different age groups. This year, for example, it's these 3 films. It's one Belgian production, Extraordinary Mona, and 2 German productions. One is for the elementary school. The middle film, Extraordinary Mona, is for the middle school from 12 to 16 years old kids, and the other one is for the elder ones. So from 16 to young adults. Is about a young man who joins the army. So usually the topics are quite contemporary and interesting for the audiences. So we choose the films according to the age of the children. The age of the protagonists is alike, so they can identify with them. Yeah.
Are you keep going with the slides, or is it block?
No, I'm keeping going with the slides. You don't see them?
No, we are still at the first one.
Oh.
Could you rerun again? Let's see if we are lucky.
So this is somehow difficult. Okay, good that you tell me now, because I'm keeping going with the slides all the time. So let me, I don't know why this is not going along, but okay.
Oh, yeah.
So now you see this slide.
Yeah, now we are.
The 3 short films, but
yeah.
Do you see the change of the slides also?
Yeah, yeah.
So now it's changing the slides, right?
Yeah, very well.
Okay. So these are the slides I did show you before. You see the Schule des Sehens in the cinema at the Film School Munich during the festival. This is how it looks like. So we have 2 to 3 school classes who come at once and do the program with us. They meet the filmmaker. You see here the filmmaker in the front with the moderation. And then the students also present the results of their questions that we give them to analyze the films on stage. So it's very participatory, and it's really empowering for young audiences to participate in the program because they are being asked to present themselves. And the effect of this program is usually that the young audiences are really going into the stories because the stories are interesting for them. And the teachers are usually quite amazed at to what extent the students participate. So this program works really well in the way it is made. So the key to this is that we use short films. We don't use films that are beyond 30 minutes because we do this program in 90 minutes. And this program is replicable also in school classes. They can do it on their own because we are using an online cinema hall, which is free of access and free of cost for all schools from May to July. So this is our specialty about the program, that it's really accessible Germany-wide online. So here you see part of the online cinema hall. And these are the 3 films of this year I told you about. Here you have an image of them. And you see that for these 3 films, for these 3 short films that we use in 1 year, we have for each film a 30-page additional material. So through this additional material, the teachers can completely do all of the film analysis in their school classes without our help. We don't have to be there in person. So what usually happens is that many teachers come to our programs in the cinema during the festival, like the program a lot, are amazed at how good it works, and then they do it again and again with their school classes. So teachers do this program every year usually. They do it regularly. And sometimes also people from all over Germany access it, and then they don't know how it works in the cinema halls, but it works very well just doing it in the classrooms also because of the additional material and the online cinema hall, which includes not only the film, but also an explanation of how to read the film and also an interview with the filmmaker and additional materials for them to use in the classroom. So the teachers have the choice if they want to do this program in either 90 minutes in school classes or if they want to extend it even and do it for several weeks. And some teachers use it. We have a lot of connection with film teachers who are really making an effort to produce documentary films, but also different kinds of formats with their students. And they usually also use our programs and explain filmmaking with the analysis of those short films first. Here you see the cinema workshop, what I told you about, that the students come to present the results of the questions themselves. So when they start seeing the film, they have a little question, they have a card on their chair, and it gives them 3 little questions. So they analyze the film while watching it. They either analyze who's the protagonist, what are the places the film has been shot at and why, or the question about reality or storytelling, what they think, who is telling the story. Is it the protagonist telling the story, or is it maybe the filmmaker, and why they think so. They also analyze film music and cinematography. So this is the presentation part. And this is how it looks like in the online cinema hall, which is free of charge, as I said, and available throughout Germany. This is when the school program comes to the classroom, so they can do it themselves with their teachers. And this works very well and is widely accepted. This is the additional materials, just a short insight how it looks like. Here you see the little question cards that can be copied and given to the students in the classes. And this is additional material that is included in the Begleitmaterial, in the accompanying material that explains, for example, about cinematography, about filmmaking in general, but also about the topics of the film. So the students can go deeper into the topics also. This is how the program developed in the past years since it started. Actually, Doc Education exists since 2013 and has been continually growing. And right now at the festival last year, we had 6,000 registered students in the online cinema halls. We had 2,200 visitors at the cinema during the festival in the 10 days of festival. That was 73 school classes. And we also had for the second time die Schule des Sehens für Erwachsene. It means the School for the Art of Seeing for Adults. So we are also starting to give the program for adults who are interested in this topic. And we had over 8,000 visitors in total last year. So it's continually growing and the interest is there. And the necessity to include documentary film and film education is there, definitely. So this brings me to the second point. This is Next Us, what Bruno Sammartino already told you about. This is an inter-European film platform for film education in the school classes or also in universities. And we are 8 partners at the moment in this project. It started in 2020, very small scale, and is growing ever since. So right now it's more than 10,000 teachers Europe-wide who use the platform. And the platform is structured in a way that you have full documentary, feature-length documentaries that are curated by all of the partners in 8 different countries. And artistically really very renowned films are on the platform to several topics. And the structure is connected to the SDGs of the United Nations. So the Sustainable Development Goals. So the teachers can really work with the SDGs in the classroom through the documentaries, which makes their classes much more lively because the students can discuss in a completely different way on these topics of the Sustainable Development Goals, for example, if they see examples from real life, from people all over the world dealing with these issues, like, for example, good health and well-being or zero hunger, and end of poverty, gender equality. So all of these topics can be tackled by the examples of the films. So on the platform, there's the option to see either the full film or what most people are using, most educators are using are the lesson plans. And this is a very special thing about the website, that all of the films are being structured in clips. So you have short clips between 2 and 5 minutes from all of the films that are being structured in lesson plans. That means they come together on a certain topic and you have all the additional materials and all the questions for the students on the website. And there is PDFs to download, so the teachers can download the PDFs, work with the students, give it as a homework. They can even share the resources with the students without the students having to be registered on the website. So it's just the teachers who are registered, the schools, and then the teachers can share between each other. So they can, for example, create folders in the MySpace and share them with other teachers. They can share individual lesson plans with students and work in that way, in a very effective way, actually. Here you see as an example, this is what it looks like when you just filter for documentaries, or you filter for clips, or you filter for lesson plans, and you can depict all of the different resources from the little emojis that they have, or from the little icons that they have, not emojis, and from the color. And we give online teacher trainings regularly to make teachers understand the structure of the platform better. So this is our service. We do this in all the 8 individual partner countries. We give online and on-site teacher trainings, so the teachers can really effectively work with the platform without having to find out everything themselves. And this is also accepted very, very well. What they can also do with the platform is they can include topics into the calendar. So it's linked to the Google Calendar. So everyone who uses the Google Calendar can just put the proposals for certain topics into the calendar and have it structured that way. And as I told you, you can share resources and download the content also. And what is interesting and also makes a link to what Bruno Sammartino told us before, and what is in our view really important and is the next step we want to develop further, is that we want to go more to work with the students at schools, not only giving the teachers the insight how to use the platform, but also working with the students ourselves, develop film projects with them, have this as a focus, and then we are going to organize a student film festival. This already exists in Spain, where NextUs started. It was a project from Spain, from Docs Barcelona on the first hand. And we want to develop this further and have these student film festivals in all of the 8 partner countries, and have like master classes for students who did good films so they can develop their skills in filmmaking themselves. So this is again an overview about what we do at NextUs Germany. We do this target group work, we give the teacher trainings, we do a lot of communication, we have an onboarding video in German, we do surveys. So we're really trying to develop the platform further in a structured and in an intelligent way, in the way that teachers need it. So we really want to meet the needs of the teachers at schools. So we really get feedback, and according to the feedback, we develop the content and also the structure of the platform further. So this is what has been happening in the past 5 years, that the platform is really being restructured again and again to meet the needs of the schools better. And yeah, here you see our flyer. We have the flyer in German and English, so people can easily register with the code. So each one of you who's interested to get to know about this platform can also just register and find out yourselves. Right now, all of the content is for free. You don't have to pay anything. There is no advertisement on the website. It's really purely the documentaries, the lesson plans, and everything that you need to work with students or with any age group actually in film education. Thank you. That was the overview of what we're doing here at DocFest and Doc Education Munich.
Thank you, Mona. Thank you very much. I have basically 2 questions out of your presentation, but I will leave them for the general discussion at the end. And thank you again. And now I would like to call on the scene Verle Snieders. As I said before, coordinator of the National Film Education Network of the EI Film Museum in Amsterdam, and okay. Finally, someone in person. Yes. So, just yes. This is the mic, please.
Oh, down. Hi, everybody. I think I'll stand. Is that okay? Can you see it? I'm Verle Snieders. I'm the head of the Dutch Film Education Network, and I will try and give you an insight in how film education is organized in Holland, what our infrastructure looks like. We work from the EI Film Museum. It's the Dutch archive. It's a museum actually by exhibitions and film screenings. We also open up the archive for the public. We work from there, so our office is not with the great view over the water, but on the other side, unfortunately. Let's see. So this is a little part of our network. We exist of 600, 700 people maybe already in the whole of Holland. So it's people that all have the same mission. We all work on embedding film into the curriculum, into the Dutch curriculum. So part of our network are all film enthusiasts from their teachers, teacher trainers, also principals, producers, filmmakers, so actually everybody with a big heart for film education. sit down or? Yeah, try again. I will tell you a little about the activities of the network. Okay, so film education. When we started in 2019, we got a little money of the Ministry of Education, Culture and Science to give an impulse to. It was an impulse to work on film education because the minister thought it was important. So we were pretty lucky we could actually start. But we started with a very small group of people. I think there were only 20 or 30 people that got together sometimes in iFilm Museum that all worked in education or worked for festivals and theaters and thought film education was important, but it was not structured at all. So actually even 18 members, let's see on the slide. And it was all around Amsterdam. So what had to change if we really wanted to make impact and make sure that the whole of Holland was actually able to work in film education, we have had to spread out and organize ourselves a little differently. And it was also important that we kept money to do what we wanted to do, and not to only to make sure that the funding was also for a longer time and not just for a year or two. So then we started with the film hubs. So these 6 film hubs, I will tell you a little more about what they do in a sec, but they all work in different. The idea is that they connect with the schools. They're very easily to find. They know the schools in their areas, and they work demand-driven. So they actually do what the schools need. They organize for them. I will tell you a little later about that. What we do as a network is all about working together, sharing knowledge, and making film education visible. We work on, we set up minors on film education on teacher colleges and universities because we think it all starts with the teachers of the future. If they don't understand the language of film, they can't pass it on. And we organize professional development opportunities for educators to integrate film education into their teaching. So I think it's a bit too long to explain all of this, so I'll go through it. We also have a film database. We don't own the films, but we have an educational database for teachers where they can easily look up the films. And we transfer to VODs and also to the archive of iFilm Museum. We organize that all the teachers can watch all the movies for free. On the website, you also find all the lessons. And what we do on this website, filmeducation.nl, is actually from the whole of our network, like all the activities, trainings, lessons, everything we try to gather on one website to make it teachers a bit more easy. So they have one spot in Holland where they can go to if they want to work with film education, either if they're interested in looking for a study or a training or ideas for film lessons, or it can be anything. We also do campaigns together with the film hubs, the Film Teacher of the Year. Last night we actually had the final of this year, school year 25-26. We organized this campaign in Holland, so together with the film hubs, so every film hub gets their own Film Teacher of the Year. It's actually to show how broad it is, who can be a film teacher and what film teachers do, and to show that a film teacher, you can find it in primary education, but also in secondary. Like this, he was the winner of the last year. He's a teacher in biology, and he works with his students. He makes stop motion films of how the heart and the lungs work. So they make, actually, his students make these stop motion films themselves, and it makes them understand really, really well. So it's like learning by doing. So these are the film hubs. They are like local network organizations. So we, as a network film education, we're like the nationwide network, and the film hubs are all part of our network. They're actually also members of the network, and we work together very closely. For schools, it's easier to go to their local film hub than to find like the nationwide network. So that works really well. Yeah, so they organize trainings for schools. What I said, they work demand-driven. They do, yeah, they actually, schools come up to them and say, help us organize a teacher training, or help us organize a project week on film, or it can be anything. They do moderation trainings. They also have filmmaking kits. If schools don't have the stuff to actually make films, they have filmmaking kits they rent out for free, so schools can go to the film hub, get these filmmaking kits with iPads, with software, microphones, everything's in there, and they can just borrow it for a few weeks. So that's what the film hubs do locally, regional. And when we started in 2019, we had no clue what was actually the state of the level of film education in the Netherlands. So we got this research done by the university, and we're going to do the research again this year, so we can actually see if the schools improved on the level of film education. So these are actually the 5 indicators. The vision, does a school have a vision on film education? So is it in the policy plan? Is there a connection with the students and the curriculum? Is there expertise in the school? So knowledge, do actually teachers also help each other? Are they trained? Do they collaborate also with other organizations? And is film education part of the program, not just a one-off thing, but integrated? And then they all, yeah, you can see on the level of 1 to 5 if they're, if film education, yeah, how do I explain? On what level they are. So we did this 5-6 years ago, and we will do it again. And it was conducted, I think, on 500 schools, the research. Yeah, so the next steps, the last years we've been working on also on a lobby to make sure that film would become a final exam subject. That's something that's happening now in Holland. Well, working on it before it's actually before it's actually a subject in the school. It will take another, I don't know, nobody knows, but we think 3, 4, maybe 5 years. So now for us, it's also challenging to make sure that also the teachers can actually give the subject film. Yeah, and I think there's still a lot to work on the visibility of film education in the Netherlands, and yeah, there's a lot of plans still that we have. But I think I'll leave it to this, and maybe for questions later. Yeah, yeah. Okay, thanks.